Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Careers in AI Virtual Summit for Google India. I'm your host, Priyanka Hariramani, and we are joined here by an esteemed guest, Sridharan Ramanathan, for all the AI ML engineers tuned in today. Sridharan, I'm sure the audience would love to know a bit more about you. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks for the intro, Priyanka. So I'm thrilled to be here representing the AI efforts from Google. So I'll just tell a little bit about myself before we start. So I've been in the industry for more than a couple of decades. So I've been in Google for more than half a decade. And I've built various different large-scale systems used by millions, if not billions of users. And in Google, recently I've taken up the challenge of building AI systems that will solve real-world industry problems. So I can confidently say there has never been a more exciting times in my entire career than now.
Absolutely. So, Sridharan, our goal is super simple today. It's for the audience to feel inspired and get a clear picture of how AI ML careers are at Google India. Let's start with the big picture. Uh, Google is built on an AI first foundation to build a bold and responsible AI. Could you share some of the insights on how the engineering talent here contributes to these global efforts? And when is it that you realize the technical complexity of the work we do here?
Absolutely. If you kind of zoom out and see how computing has evolved over the years, right? So there has always been compressed periods of rapid innovation followed by long periods of consolidation. So you can look at the PC revolution and then the internet revolution during the turn of the millennium, and then came the mobile, then cloud revolution, and now we are in the middle of AI revolution. And the seeds for this AI revolution were sown right here in Google. So whether it is the initial research around BERT or the seminal paper that came out, so these were done right here in Google. And Google just didn't stop right at sowing the seed, right? Like we have focused on building a vertically integrated AI company. What do we mean by that? So if you look at any AI system, there are multiple layers to it, right? Let's look into each layer, right? Like on the bottommost layer, you have the AI infra. So Google is always reputed for building really large scale infrastructure that serves billions of users. Examples are search, YouTube, etc. And the same thing holds good for AI infra as well. So we have the NVIDIA chips, from our partner NVIDIA, GPU chips, and then the tensor processing unit chips, which are kind of like designed from the scratch by Google. And those are available for our partners and customers to use to build their AI workloads. So that forms the base layer. And in fact, recently we announced the AI hub in Visakhapatnam. So with an investment of around $15 billion. So we will have a lot of AI workloads running from there for India and beyond. So that's the AI infra. And then we have a world-class research organization, right? Both in Google Research and DeepMind. So this has many Nobel laureates in its ranks. So what do? They push the frontier on what is possible in AI. And not just in AI, they also invest in things like quantum computing. What can we do there? So these strong world-class research team, so this has enabled us to build world-class models. So large language models, when it comes to Gemini models, it comes in various different shapes and forms. Recently, Gemini 3.0 was announced. So it has like groundbreaking capabilities in terms of like reasoning, multimodal capabilities, and agentic capabilities. Okay, we have all the models and AI infra. How can customers use it? They can use it in multiple ways. One, if they want to build their own AI applications, we have Google Cloud Platform that they can use. So build their apps and deploy them. We have the Vertex AI as part of GCP that can be used for building AI applications. And we have also built certain really specific applications to leverage this AI power. So some of the examples are Notebook LM, Gemini Enterprise, and so on. And we have let the power of AI shine through the existing products as well. If you look at search, so there is the AI mode, which gives you summarization. And if you look at workspace, so there are so many features introduced there that helps you better secure and responsible AI system. What do I mean by that? So each part of this AI stack is thoroughly designed, tested, and monitored to make sure there is no bias involved, and the hallucinations are limited, and the system is compliant. So if you look at some of the industries like finance or healthcare, so there are so many regulations on which data can be used for training, where data should be stored, uh, who can access the data, all these things. So Google has a reputation of building systems that are compliant, and the same applies for the AI systems that we built.
Absolutely. And a lot of us who are here today resonate completely on Google's commitment to build responsible AI. I have personally witnessed the kind of efforts we put in to build something like this. Um, so, Sridharan, that takes me to the next segment. The scale that you mentioned is incredible. What is it that about the engineering talent here and the ecosystem, the technical ecosystem we have here, makes India such a critical center for all the global AI engineering efforts that we are putting in?
Great question. I will answer it in two parts. One, how Google India is set up well for delivering global impact, and second, how the complexity and uniqueness of Indian landscape helps us build better agentic products, AI products, I would say. So the first part, um, if you look at Google India, so there are so many interesting problems, cutting edge problems that people are solving here. It starts from making enhancements to the foundational model, making it much more performant and much more efficient, and then building mobile apps. So the Gemini mobile app that exposes the power of the foundational model. So the Gemini enterprise app, and then Gemini for workspace. So all these innovations happen here in Google India. And if you look at the talent landscape, on the other hand, in India, right? So it is incredibly talented people out here who are hungry for taking up really challenging problems and creating large scale impact. So now this goes hand in hand. We have really hard problems that need to be solved, and we have people who are looking forward to solve them. So this creates a virtuous cycle, and we are able to attract really good talent who can work on these problems and deliver even more impact. Now, let's look at the uniqueness of Indian landscape, right? India is like the most populous country in the world, and it's a very fast growing economy. And it has various uniqueness like, we are mobile first, voice first, there are so many languages. So we want to make sure we build products here so that we can really serve the users, right, where they are. And India is also a stress test for any technology. If a technology works here, then it can work anywhere in the world. So I'll give you a small example, right? Let's take Google Maps, for example. So Indian roads are so unique compared to roads elsewhere. And we have made so many enhancements, in AI, applying AI to how we capture the street view. And that has come in handy in introducing many enhancements in our product. So, for example, let's say you are driving on a road and then the road divides into half. Like there is one part which goes straight, another one is taking a flyover. Oftentimes people are confused. Hey, should I go straight or should I take the flyover? So recently we introduced a feature that tells people, hey, you should take the flyover or you should take the straight road and not take the flyover. And this kind of like avoided so much confusion for people and made their driving a lot better. And similarly, India is a unique place with two-wheelers, a lot of two-wheelers and four-wheelers. The route you will take if you are driving a two-wheeler versus four-wheeler is different. And that is something we have recently incorporated in Google Maps as well. If you are driving a four-wheeler, then it will avoid the narrow roads. So your drive will be much better. So these sort of, these are not localizations done for India. These are product enhancements that were driven by Indian complexity.
Absolutely. And personally, I'm super intrigued by the take the flyover feature. I have used it a couple of times and it was a much needed one. So I'm very proud that some of the work that has happened on there has happened in India. This takes me to my next question, Sridharan. Agentic AI is a buzzword that we keep hearing. So, what is the kind of work the engineers can look forward to in the agentic AI space, especially in Google India?
Sure. If you look at this generative AI revolution, right? Like initially, it all started with a chatbot. Okay, you ask questions, you get answers. Maybe I'll write better emails, or it helps me write better docs. I can generate pictures. So all that is good. But real world impact happens when industry problems are solved by AI, right? So that means we need agents that do complex reasoning, orchestrate really complicated multi-step workflows, and perform actions. So that's where the industry is going to go towards. I'll give you a small example. One of our recent healthcare customers, they leverage Gemini powered automated agent to do nurse handovers of patient information between one shift to another shift. So now these nurses can actually spend their time attending to patients rather than writing documentation, right? Like for the handover. And also, I'll peep a little bit into the future on what kind of systems, agentic systems might come out, right? Take shopping, for example. You go to an offline retail outlet today to purchase clothes. There'll be a person who will come and accompany you and who will tell, hey, what is occasion? What sort of clothes do you need? What is your favorite colors? Look at these options and helps you try on those and use feedback, helps you select, and then also suggests some accessories that go with it, upsells them. And you feel at the end of the day, it was a delightful shopping experience. But what happens in online? So you open the website, you search, browse, click. That's pretty much it. Why can't the same delightful experience be there in online as well? Or take customer service, for example. How long have you spent in holds in when talking to different companies, trying to get some routine questions answered? Why can't these routine questions be answered by agents, right? So that the real humans can then solve much more involved problems that require troubleshooting or requires human empathy or discretion, those sort of things. So these are some of the kind of like samplers on the kind of agents that we will build. I also want to tell another thing. There was a recent product announcement from Google, Anti-Gravity, right? It is an agent that can build agents. So if you think about it, industrial revolution happened when machines were invented that can mass produce other goods, right? Now this is like a machine that can produce other machines, which can then produce other products. So just imagine the kind of productivity this will unlock, right? It's mind-boggling.
Absolutely. And this is super insightful. Thank you so much for that. To conclude, Sridharan, what is that one final piece of encouragement that you would like to give to people who have tuned in today, especially in the AI, someone who's like planning an AI ML career at Google India?
Sure thing. I think when people think about AI, they think, hey, I need to learn how to build a model. I need to learn how to tune a model. So those are good skills to have. So along with it, right? So I would say those skills are kind of like tip of the iceberg if you look at any AI system. So it requires a lot more work to kind of like build all the necessary surrounding systems to leverage the power of model and then give useful products to customers, right? That means all your full stack skills, whether you are an app developer, whether you are a web developer, whether you are backend. So all these skills are going to be useful along with your AI and ML skills. So and beyond this, I think the passion for solving real world business problems, leveraging technology, I think that is like super important. So we are always looking for passionate people who have the right skills, so that we can build even greater products which will solve greater problems.
Absolutely. This is super inspiring, Sridharan. Thank you so much once again, Sridharan, for sharing your invaluable expertise with us today. I'm sure a lot of people who heard your vision of bold, responsible AI have learned a lot from you. It's time to shift some gears and understand more about the different enterprise as well as consumer platforms that we have built today. We've learned a lot about Google's foundational AI, but we would love for you to understand how these iconic products are built. Thank you so much for tuning in with us.